Everybody online, looking good.
A companion podcast to the collaborative blog and gaming community that's playing as life allows. This is Multiplaying.
Well, let's start the insanity.
We have clearance, Clarence. Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Hello?
Great heavens! What kind of radio show is this?
Hey everybody, we're back. It's episode 87.
Is anyone there?
I doubt it. I think everybody left. We have to start from scratch.
They all left the building?
Yeah.
The lights are off?
I think, you know what? I'm tempted to call this episode 1.
Did we pay the power bill?
Yeah. Yeah, I think. I hope so. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, we're back. Very long hiatus. Been a couple months. Summer's just been killing us.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride, right?
Yeah. I was going to make a Last Starfighter reference right there, but I didn't.
Should bring that back, like completely.
What? Last Starfighter?
Yeah, you know, I've watched that multiple times in the last couple of weeks, and the thing that I took away from that is it's got a fucking awesome soundtrack.
Does it?
Yes.
It's been a long time since I've watched that movie.
You need to go watch that again.
Is it on Netflix or Amazon or anything?
I have no idea.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that.
The soundtrack is incredible.
Okay, name some tunes.
Oh, there's Starfighter, and then there's Turtlehead Guy.
That's the name of the track?
I think so.
Right.
And Beta Unit. That's probably a name of a track, right?
I would imagine.
Yeah.
What was the name of the ship? Did it have a title? Name?
What was a prototype?
Yeah, it was, but I didn't know if it actually had a...
I don't know. Death Blossom has to be a name of a song.
Yeah, Death Blossom.
DE, Weapon of Last Resort.
See, we have to get to the bottom of this, so I am actually Googling Last Starfighter right now, because I think our listener deserves...
Yeah.
That's a really good start.
He does. I can't believe that movie never had a sequel.
It was the Last Starfighter. Then it would just be like the second Last Starfighter.
No, he set it up though completely. He saved the whole Federation, and
I was just agreeing with you. Yep, he did. He did
that. That evil half ball dude escaped, so he totally set. They were setting up a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Just never happened.
Maybe he's just biding his time.
Yeah.
Waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike.
So I found the name of the ship.
Yeah.
Spacecraft is called the Gunstar.
Oh,
yes.
man.
Yeah, I remember that now.
How 80s is that?
I don't know. It gave me tingles, though.
Yeah, that's how 80s it was.
That had oh my god. The movie had an estimated cost of $15 million. That was a lot of money in 84.
Huge back then.
Box office, it but it about doubled its money. It had done $28 million in North America. So
it should have got a sequel.
You would think.
And on VHS, and at that day, I'm guessing like HBO, whatever, it had to make money. It had to be a profitable movie.
Yeah, you would think so.
Just hit up Michael Bay, man. He'll fix it right up.
Fuck you.
I like the delayed you on the fuck. But yeah, that's classic movie. I need to get that and the Explorers.
An Enemy Mine.
Enemy Mine. That's good stuff.
You got to add that to your rotation too. And and then
Monster Squad. You got to get that.
Monster Squad. But what were you saying, Eric? Which other one?
The Star Children. What is that? The Solar Babies. The Solar Babies. Do you remember that? Fuck.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh, you will see it and go, whoa, that is not good. That is not deserving of this. The ones we mentioned previously. Solar Babies. Shit of that.
Is the shit of that?
Yeah, the actual shit, not the actual positive shit.
I think that's the tagline.
Solar Babies. It's the shit of the 1980s.
I have no idea where we're going with this.
No, I don't know. I don't know either. But I was going to say, we also have to include probably one of. It's got to be Jason's favorite since he attended the place, Space Camp.
Oh fuck yeah!
Yeah.
The Navigator. You gotta do that Navigator.
Oh, Flight of the Navigator.
The Flight of the
Friend
Navigator.
forever.
That's good stuff. So, 80s movies. The podcast is now about 80s movies. Send in
We've
your
been gone
requests.
long enough. You can get away with that. You can just change the theme of the show right now.
I think
Now's
so.
your opportunity.
I think so.
Oh, we can do the Rad podcast?
Oh.
That's all I've ever wanted.
Jason's childhood dream is to do a radio show about Rad.
Fuck, man. When he just does that
Radcast.
flip.
Yeah.
He
The
just
flip.
totally cuts through half the race.
So should we like
It has to disqualify him.
should the podcast
Because he's
should the-
rad.
should the podcast only be about Rad? Or do we need to like
87 multiplying Radcast.
do we need to also speak about Gleaming the Cube?
I
That
have
part-
no
the part
idea
at the-
what any of you
I'll
guys
talk
are
about
talking
it,
about.
I
feel
fucking
really
I
young
hate
right
you,
now.
Rare. How are your oh god, I totally blanked on what kids his age would think. What are your Pokemon or something?
There you go.
How's
I
the
know
hula
those-
hoop?
Oh, those things.
Is that your age range?
Yeah. Third
Okay.
grade Pokemon.
Good.
This is shit. That and Yu-Gi-Oh, man. Japan like completely took over our lives. That's all I
Okay.
got.
All right. So welcome back to Multiplaying.
Yeah.
That was like the best segue ever.
And tonight on the show, we got Jason.
Hey,
What are you drinking, sir?
I am drinking a Coors Light.
Nice. Hi, how's it going, Rare?
Doing all right.
What you drinking tonight?
Gatorade, because it's really fucking hot in Indiana.
It is fucking hot. What is it up there in Michigan, Jason?
Oh, today it was 99 temperature, but it was a feel like 109.
Oh, that's good.
Awesome. Yeah.
I know my car on the way home said it was 103, so who knows what it was actually like. But you get that nice swamp in your
Swamp
pants.
ass type thing.
Yeah.
If affiliate,
Fun.
man, he would not be pleased. Gotta stop that swamp ass.
But yeah, it's fucking hot. How hot is it where you are? Special guest Eric, Blameful Gecko.
I don't pay attention to that stuff. It's hot all the time, and now it was less hot than it was where I usually am. This is what I go.
So it was a nice day.
I'm a naturalist. I was sweating, but I ran out of deodorant, so I used my wife's clinical strength baby powder deodorant. I didn't sweat worth shit. I'm gonna use that forever now. Strong enough for a man, so I'm taking it like a man. That's my
All
new
right.
slogan.
They should do that. Yeah.
So I'm not
So-
answering your question. Is the answer to the question?
Okay, what are you drinking though?
Oh yeah, Duck Rabbit Milk Stout. It's a local brewery in North Carolina. And it's
That sounds awesome.
yeah, it's a standard. I don't know if it's a standard stout, but they start with a stout and then they're making it with milk sugars and stuff like that. So it's a nice drinkable stout. I like it. Tastes good in my mouth.
That's all that matters.
Yo,
And I have a mess of a drink. Let's just say it has booze in it. A couple different kinds.
So it's like a cabinet drink.
It's,
Okay.
yeah,
I took everything.
we could call it that. I ran out of some stuff, so I put in other stuff. It's not great, but
It'll get you drunk.
it's tingly. Let's move on.
Good news, multiplayers!
I love the Power Glove. It's so bad.
I don't have a quick topic because we've been gone for so long, and I didn't even think about it.
I think that was our intro.
That should be our intro. Actually, we'll just use part of the conversation from the intro. I want to talk right now about the PlayStation Vita.
Oh, fuck
Oh.
yeah. Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
I
'Cause
got one
want-
of those.
I don't want to specifically talk about one game or anything. Just a general feeling that I've been having lately. Eric actually mentioned it pre-show, and I'm going to let him do it again. But we were talking about Dragon's Dogma for the PS3, and he said something that really hit the spot and hit the nail on the head for my own feelings. And what was that you were saying, Eric? It was about how one-sided you are in the consoles these days.
Yeah. So, I mean, really, when it came down to it, I had a bunch of people asking questions of, okay, so you're getting Dragon's Dogma. We know about the pawn system that has us, kind of working together with our different pawns and trading them back and forth and stuff like that. Are you going to go 360? Because I'm getting 360. And I had to kind of think about it, and I said, no, I'm not. Because all of my things now that are new are on the PS3. I'm buying all of my new games on the PS3, and it's mainly because I'm using the shit out of my Vita. And it's got all of this cross-play stuff. And if there's a chance ever there's going to be any kind of thing at all, or like I'm always thinking about my PS3 because I have my Vita with me, So it's just, it makes sense. I want, I'm not a huge trophy freak or achievement freak. I like using those after I've played a game to maybe get some more gameplay. Like, with Batman, you beat the game. Hey, achievements, trophies are a good way of you going back in and enjoying the gameplay and stuff. So I don't give a shit. But might as well do it on the PS3. Might as well just kind of just get all that shit all in there and, mix it up.
And you are I'm assuming, I know Jason is, but are you a PlayStation Plus subscriber?
Yeah, I got mine. I got my PS3 as a wedding present of all things, and I said I am never going to use this shit. I am never going to use this shit. Someone just wanted to get it to me for my wedding, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm going to take that. We got all our pots and pans. We got all our responsible food processors and stuff. I checked with the wife first, but she was okay with it. And I got my thing, and my 360 just was my thing. Mm-hmm. That was my main little buddy. And then then the Vita came out, so I traded in all my 360 games to get the Vita, and never looked back. And I got my my PlayStation Plus membership the day I got my PS3, and within 3 months I filled up the hard drive with free shit. Yeah,
they've really been pushing the hell out of the PlayStation Plus stuff with all the free games. Mm-hmm. I know, like, just the other day I downloaded, and we will come back to Vita stuff, but like I just downloaded the new editions, the Gotham City Imposters and Renegade Ops and the Pac-Man Championship Edition. Like, and Renegade Ops specifically was one that like I constantly wanted to pick up, but I never really wanted to fork over the money for. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And now it's just mine, so yay.
It's a great game.
And it's a great game. I'm half sorry I never paid the money for it, but hey, it worked out anyways. But yeah, that service is just fucking awesome, and you get the constant discounts that they offer. But back to kind of what you were saying about with having the Vita, I think more so for me, I've gone on many times on this show and said I'm not a big handheld person. The Vita is really, really changing my mind on that, though. The more I'm playing it, the more I'm enjoying it, and the more and I'm no fucking joke, like every fucking console game, any game that would come out that I think, oh, I would rather play that on the console, has totally changed to, I would rather play that on the Vita.
Yeah. Did you see that thing today about Borderlands?
Yes. Randy Pitchford came out and said that he would love for a Vita version of Borderlands 2 to exist. He said that Gearbox would not be able to do it. They don't have the time or the resources to. But he'd actually said that he would love it if he could give the code to like a Sony studio and for them to port over the game on the Vita.
And the characters to be able to flip-flop between the two.
To do the crossplay between the Vita and the PS3. And that, can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Oh, can we mention? Can we mention the survey that was kind of like going around to different people about, Sony asking certain questions about PlayStation Plus, like, would you like if you had Mortal Kombat, for instance, on the PS3? If you're a PlayStation Plus member, we'll just give you the Vita version.
Yep.
Yeah.
Would that not be amazing?
That would be fucking amazing.
Yeah. And I would even, because I think, wasn't there a game, wasn't it like the MLB game that came out that if you
it was like $70-$80, you get both versions.
Yeah, it was only like a $10 or $20 discount. Yeah. But still, I don't think I would pay even that much to have both games, but I could totally see buying the PS3 version and even spending another $10 or $15 more to be able to play the Vita version as well. Mm-hmm. I mean, that would be an incentive to me.
I've been thinking about lately, because I've been playing my Vita a lot more, and we were talked about the last podcast. I mean, that was a long time ago, but talking about supporting the Vita, and you hear all this stuff. It's always common for a console launch to say how weak it is. And if you go look at like the Vita, like it doesn't have a lot of stuff coming out, but god damn, there's a lot of good games that are out for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
It's
why
definitely
okay, so I work at Best Buy, but none of my opinions about Best Buy or any of the things I say represent what Best Buy means to say. You know that thing that I want to say,
Gotta
but
get
I
that
don't.
legal mumbo jumbo out of the way.
Yeah,
there.
whatever that is. So nonetheless, I talk to people all the time, and like when someone comes in and says, "Oh, there are not a lot of games for it," I spend the next 20 minutes politely
Beating
helping
the
them
shit out of them?
understand. No, politely helping them understand that their scope of games. Like I'll ask them, "So what kind of games do you play?" "I like sports. I like to shoot people in the face." And I'm like, "Okay, well, that's."
Do
only
they
a
say it
small-
like out of breath like that? Oh, it's shoot people in the face.
Some of them practically say
And
that.
tap out shirts.
And so I'm
Their
like,
mustache
okay.
Drinks.
So let's look at the games that they have on there, but look at all these other games. Do you like beating up Chinese people? Dynasty Warriors might be for you.
Jesus.
Hundreds of thousands of people, and it's not racist because you're a Chinese person too. Think about it, okay? Do you like building tracks that look like a penis? My Nation might be for you.
No, don't tell people to buy that game. I had that game. That game sucked.
Well, you know what I mean. It's
Yeah.
all about what you make it. Nonetheless, like 25 games overall came out for the system, and when people complain about that I'm realizing that I've got a backlog on this thing, and I'm happy to know that I have a wide array of games that and tastes and stuff. So I'm like, fuck yeah, Gravity Rush.
I just side note.
Look at other consoles that launched. I put the PS Vita launch lineup, talking like from launch to now, up against any of those systems. Fucking fantastic games that have come out.
Yeah. Quick side note: you have to be like employee of the month every month, right? At Best Buy.
I am. Can you pause the recording if we're gonna talk about that?
No.
Because I cannot say anything, but I'll say that I've been suggested that I become an evangelist because I'm really good at making people think things that may or may not be true.
All right.
How about that?
But yeah, totally back to the launch lineup thing. I totally agree with your sentiment that it seems like any console or
They
handheld that
always
comes
get
out,
shit.
they
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Launch,
It's like
terrible launch. Blah blah blah. No games.
there's no games. Yeah, I hate that. Anyways,
Oh, okay, wait. I gotta say something. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm busting right in here like
Hit it.
Kool-Aid.
Gatorade.
I Kool-Aid man. Sorry.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
Yeah, you see, you got that. Boom. Right in
Ah.
your head. So,
Oh, yeah.
anyways, I got the 3DS at launch.
Yep.
I was super excited about the potential of what Nintendo could do to me, and all it did is fuck me. So it really, it's one of those systems that it's really neat. Totally like it. I convinced myself that I was that kind of gamer, which I am no longer. I don't want to play their first-party titles anymore. I know they're fantastic. I know.
Oh, I
the
see what you're
design
saying.
is amazing, but I'm just not interested in it anymore. Art design and unique art design and storytelling is really sometimes more important than gameplay, which, whatever.
You've moved past Mario and Zelda.
Yeah, I can't do it anymore. So when I was playing the older games, the DS games that are classic RPGs, like there are a ton of classic RPGs and text-based adventures and stuff on there, I was fucking depressed. Luckily with the PS Vita, and this is part of the reason why I'm just so goddamn excited, everything is new on this, is that I got a PSP very early. I played X-Men Legends 2 or something on there and said, this fucking sucks. I'm done with it. And I missed an entire just a generation of some really great gems.
Yeah.
So they're drastically reducing them on the PlayStation Network. So I'm downloading them like crazy. And if I don't have a Vita game to play, which I do, I should probably play them because I'm wasting my money if I don't. I'm playing the shit out of a PSP game. Or watching Netflix because the OLED screen looks better than my goddamn TV that I got. What the fuck is wrong with that?
Yeah. Like
But
Atlas.
how bad is it though that there's lots of Vita games or PSP games on the network that aren't available? Like, how come I can't get Peace Walker, Metal Gear Solid? It's not there.
That's some political ass dumb shit, man.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
Fuck 'em.
But yeah, the sales on the Vita, no, not the Vita, but the PSP games has been a nice little boon too, because like right now Atlas is discounting a lot of their games. Been considering a couple of them. But yeah, I am totally digging the system, and it's kind of just got me. The idea of like everybody before the Vita came out, a lot of people were saying, "Hey, this could be a console in your hands. This could be the wave of, okay, no more actual consoles hooked up to TVs, et cetera, et cetera." I mean, there's a lot of high-end speculation on that end. I still don't think that's going to happen for a long time, but I am kind of agreeing with the sentiment that it could happen, and I would be on board with it.
Yeah, no, I think, like, Borderlands, yeah, bring that. I keep going back to what you said a long time ago, like a version of like DCUO or Free Roams, stupid, like a free-to-play MMO on that. It'd be awesome.
That's Phantasy Star Online too. At least in Japan, they're planning it for Vita. So get ready to feed your mags. That. Feed your fucking mags!
Before we move on to more video games, I do have to take a quick poll. Who has seen The Amazing Spider-Man?
Me?
Not I.
I have not, but I read your thread about it.
All right. It was good. I liked it. Jason?
Yeah, it was pretty great.
Yeah.
I'm a long-time Spider-Man fan. Hero that I liked the most as a kid. Read most of the comics of him, and the thing I liked about this movie versus the Raimi ones, totally captured the Peter Parker Spider-Man character way better than those other ones. Like I appreciated like the first two Raimi movies, but there was never the Peter Parker just busting out as a wise ass because he could when he had the costume on. That these movies kind of delivered.
Yeah. I can see that. And for me, it was kind of surprising because I'm not a Spider-Man fan. Not ever really been high on my superhero list for one reason or another. I think I kind of grew up loving more X-Men, especially Wolverine. So, it is what it is. But yeah, I walked in with very low expectations, walked out very impressed. It's definitely not as good as the Avengers, in my opinion. But
yeah, and that's where it goes back. The only bummer about it was, I want those rights to go back to Marvel.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird because you say you want the rights to go back to Marvel, but here, Sony or whoever the actual subsidiary is that put the movie together did a good job.
Yeah, but I would rather trust Marvel with the rights. True. I mean, this came together. They made this movie just to not lose the rights.
Yes, I know totally.
They got together a great team. I mean, obviously, the people who made it care about the character, but I'd rather see Marvel just have everything.
They got Emma Stone in the movie, so I'm good. I don't care.
Yeah. That's a good girl.
With that, we'll talk about what we've been playing other than with ourselves. Rare?
Yeah.
What you been playing, man? What kind of games?
Playing a crap load of stuff. So I'll just do a really quick list. I beat Skyrim's main story and like the war and shit.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I'm like 6 months late to that party. But it was really good, and I'm looking forward to Dawnguard.
I've never been to that party, so there you go.
It's good. I'd recommend doing it.
Cool.
I've been playing DEF CON and Dota 2, and I'm really bad at those games.
Dota 2 is fucking weird.
Yeah, I'm not good at that game.
If you played a lot of League of Legends, that's a weird fucking
Did not
game.
Help at all.
No, that does not help you at all.
No, I would like go 0-9 and be like, I hate myself, and then go play a game of League and have a perfect game and be like, okay, I feel better now. But I cannot play Dota 2. So I'm really bad at that game.
So I need to ask. Like, I'm not a MOBA player. Like when I logged on, original Start. It was on Warcraft 3, right? Yeah. My friend was into it. I played the original, and I was playing. He was trying to show me what to do, and I was just getting cussed at. Just like, you are worthless. What are you doing? All of this stuff. I was like, is this the game? Yeah, it's pretty much the game.
It's pretty much.
Yeah, you just got to know what you're doing. You got to, it's real response. I'm like, I don't want to do that.
How will I ever know?
MOBA games are not games to play alone. You play MOBA games with friends because you can cuss at your friends and it's okay.
Yeah.
So let's cuss right back at you. But
so what do you think the difference is? Like, if you're really good with League of Legends, for me, is the only one that I've ever enjoyed, or a little bit of Smite. But what's the difference?
There's 3 huge things that I noticed. That A, you can't have just a jungler in Dota 2. B, characters have turn speeds. Like, if you want to turn left or right, they actually have to physically turn left or right, rather than in League, you can just kind of like switch directions immediately.
Yeah.
And then creep denying. And then towers are pussies in Dota 2. Towers don't do shit.
And they do not protect you.
No! Like, oh, I'm getting ganked. I'm just going to walk back to my tower. No, you're just going to die. You're just going to get anally boned.
That was the first thing that I learned when I played Dota 2. That's why I warned you of that before you went into your games. Like, dude, towers are not safe zones.
Yeah, you told me that. I was like, I'm sure it's not that big. But no.
You can't, do not, because early game ganking is a thing.
Yeah, big time.
So,
and then
the game
buying
was weird.
items for me was weird. Like, the secret shop I get, and having a courier is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But it didn't really, like, explain, like, these are items you should buy. Mm-hmm. These are items you shouldn't buy. I was kind of like, I have no clue what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it did not go well.
I do want to get back. I mean, I know we're talking about it more than what we intended to, but I do kind of want to get back into that because of a couple of things. One, because Valve's behind it, and because they're saying, okay, all the characters are going to be available. The only monetization that they've really talked about so far, to my awareness, maybe they've said something since, but is that like costumes and stuff you'll pay for.
I think it'll be that boosts, I think also, which is also in the league.
Yes. But yeah, just the fact that all the characters are going to be available, so there's already a balance right there that anybody can use anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. The other thing is that the little bit that I have played, I don't even know if they call them champions in Dota 2, but apologies if they don't.
I don't remember either. I just call them champs because I've played League so much.
Right. But whatever the characters are that you choose, some very interesting mechanics on the ones that I chose.
I mean, Dota's a great game, and I'm not hating on Dota 2 at all. It's just so different from League. Like, I used to say, like, oh, Dota 2 is just another MOBA. No, not even close. So different from League or Han.
And I've not played enough Dota to say that there's not a lot of crossing, I don't know how I want to put it, similar mechanics across different classes or characters.
Yeah.
But I noticed that a lot in League of Legends. It's something that's slowly started to bother me. Like a lot of the some exceptions, but a lot of the new champs that would come out, I was like, okay, well, it's got this ability from this guy and this ability from this guy.
Yeah.
And I always thought, well, how long are they really going to be able to do that before they really don't have any other ideas? And the first 2 different characters that I tried in Dota 2 were totally fucking different than anything I played in League of Legends. So it was like, wow, there's a lot more stuff to learn here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole new game, and I'm going to try that, and hopefully I can get a beta key for Smite. Have you seen that?
I've seen it.
I've played it. It's awesome.
I'll give
Is
you
it?
Rare.
Okay,
I've been waiting. Like, I want to give someone that gift, and
All right.
I want to give it to you. You going to...
Yes! Victory! I have a Smite beta key now. Awesome.
Yep. I'm pretty sure that it might be a beta key to something else, but I'm pretty sure it's Smite.
Okay. Well, we'll find out, but even if it's not...
enjoy it, no matter what it is.
I mean, it's high res, and they let me down Global Agenda, but they really impressed me with Tribes. So I'm going to give them a chance and say maybe this will be good. It's completely different from any of the MOBA because it's third person, and
I'm weird.
I'll tell you, these the towers, they hit hard, but you can hit them harder. That's my hint.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know what that...
It looks completely foreign to me, so I'm really excited to see what happens with that. But other than that, I've just been playing a crap load of League, Skyrim, and then the EVE Alliance tournament has been last weekend, this weekend, and the next 2 weekends, I think.
Rare, goddamn it, I love that you play EVE.
Yeah, man, EVE's awesome. I've been having so much fun. There's like 20,000 people all in one star system, and we're all murdering each other on a daily basis. And it's awesome.
Man, that game.
It requires way too much time.
It does.
I've been playing Dust 54321.
You've been playing it?
Yeah, I think it's predicted by NDA. So yeah,
Maybe.
I'm playing it.
Whipping out the NDA. I hope it's good. I don't know PS3.
I do too.
I
hope it's good.
You can be like my space marine. I can be like, go take over that planet, and you'll be like, okay, and it'll be great.
I hope that would be fun.
Can you write me daily, like just daily journal entries, and I'll just like put them in Google Docs for
It's
you.
like Sky Captain's log of like what's going on in Eve.
Yeah, we'll just say it's classified, so we won't post it on a blog.
Ah,
And
well,
it's like we're RPing.
if you want to read up on constant Eve stuff and really funny, witty one-liners, I'll link you to an Eve forum later that you can go to.
Thank you, because I don't ever want to play that game, but I want to read about it.
Yeah, Eve stories are great. Playing Eve sometimes kind of sucks. Not gonna lie.
It's like Ultima. It's like Ultima Online. Early Ultima Online stories. They sound fantastic, but fuck you if I ever want to play with it.
Yeah, I can completely understand that. So the Alliance tournament has been going on, so I've been betting lots of money. And as of right now, I'm actually up on bets. So thank you to random alliances that are doing really well that I put tons of money on. Because there's one team called Fluffy Bunny Murder Squad, and no one took them seriously, and they had like 8-1 odds, and I totally put a crap load of money on them and came out with 8-1 odds, and it was awesome.
I know I don't want to derail too much, but how does that work with putting bets? I mean, who controls the bets? Who's the shark?
Basically, there's multiple different people that try and do it, but the one I'm using right now is Test Alliance Please Ignore, who's kind of famous for having really good newbie taking in of people, and then they also have really good propaganda videos, but they're running their own third-party betting system.
Okay, so it's like an alliance that's running a betting system.
And then there's
do you give it to like all the money to one specific person who's keeping track of it?
How they do it is they have a website with an authentication system, because Eve has its own API, so you can like use your character on third-party services. So you put in your character, and then you give the money in the game to the corporation, and then the corporation, not automatically, but through a couple people, seeds it into the website saying you put in this much money, here are the bets you can do, and then you can just draw.
Okay, so
shit like that, man.
Hey, Eve is legit, bro. It is
shit like that just makes me so impressed about that game.
It's so awesome.
Who in that chain then cashes it into real money and leaves?
The guy who's behind the curtain, the Illuminati. I don't even know.
Oh, that would have been a good segue. You just fucked that shit up, man.
I'm sorry.
Speaking of Illuminati,
dragons.
Let's do it. I know. Okay, you guys have to talk about it because I know shit about the secret world.
Yeah, well, let's leave it to Eric because he knows the most.
Oh wow, I'm about to disappoint you, man.
Pressure's on, bro.
Take a drink.
Yeah, step up.
1 second. Let me drink this. And 1 second. Waiting for it. I'm pretty sure I can open this up. 1 second. Fuck. This. Okay, I'm good.
Wow.
As you hit your mic around.
Yeah, I hit the shit out of my mic.
His mic went all dubstep on us for a second.
It was like, oh god, he's got a drink.
So wait a second. What do we talk about? Jason, I'm going to ask, how are you enjoying it? Did it surprise you? What's going on? Did you actually purchase it, or are you still in that extended pre-order phase?
No, okay. Look, I'll bring it back. I'll reboot it. I had for some reason, I don't really know why, I had a pre-order code, and I had early access, so I started playing, and I was really digging it, so I bought it. It's hard to describe. I can't really get. I don't feel comfortable explaining why I like it. I just like it so far.
Is it because of the atmosphere or because of the quest system?
It's a lot about the atmosphere and questing.
Okay.
I think it is all of the good things of Age of Conan. Age of Conan had. Okay, so Age of Conan and Conan, like the stories, are very interesting because everyone thinks of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Age of Conan, badass 80s motherfucker, right? But really, if you read the stories, he is this immensely deep and sorrowful person who kills the mother living shit out of people, okay? He will have these great soliloquies and monologues, and they're just profound and amazing. And they captured that really well in Age of Conan, but all the advertising pretty much said, dude, you can be 15, get in this game, and take off your top. You like titties? I got titties. So
That
that's
was
pretty much
basically the marketing.
yeah. So you would go to the first inn, and there would be 5 or 6 15-year-old boys with their female avatars showing you their titties. And
so
it kind
since the Secret World took all the best parts of Age of Conan,
it took all of the atmosphere, all
Okay.
of the really interesting.
none
just,
of the boobs.
I'm pretty sure there might be, but who cares
Oh, okay.
really? Because what you have is something that has a very liberating and kind of scary gameplay system where you are. It's very okay. So one of the most amazing things that intrigues and impresses me about Eve is that you pick one character, and pretty much you don't have to alt out. Why the fuck would you do that? Because your character can learn anything ever.
Yeah.
Just put the time into it. Just put the time into it, and you can do it. If you are a miner, so I know very little, so I'm gonna fuck this up, but just fix it.
Go for it. I got you back.
So if I'm a crafter and I'm like, oh shit, I can go and mine shit for hours, and then I can hire this guy to protect me. This sounds great, man. I'm gonna sit and listen to the radio and be a miner, and that's gonna be great. Well, this is fucking boring. I want to get a fighter and go and shoot missiles at that guy's aqueducts. What are those things that don't shoot water but shoot fire? Rocket things? Anyways, I'm going to shoot somebody. This is great. Whee! You can just change. You can just start learning stuff, you know?
I'm on a rocket.
Yeah. So this game allows you to eventually... I don't know what that reference is, but yeah.
Astronaut Jones.
Astronaut Jones is
Go
great,
ahead.
guys.
Yeah.
So anyways, you can learn, you choose a couple weapons, and you just go at it. And I'm talking to people, and they're just like, hey, I don't fucking like swords. What do I do? Well, here, I made you this claw weapon. Go and start that. And you just start putting points in it. And the thing is, you're eventually going to learn everything. It doesn't matter, you know?
People actively discourage you from re-rolling because you're wasting more time re-rolling instead of just playing and putting points into the other
Switching
areas.
switching gears.
Yeah, and they've designed the game around it in some interesting ways where every quest is a repeatable quest. So daily quests and all that shit, they're every quest. Every quest has a cooldown. Once you do it, you can just do it again. And they're fun and they're interesting. And so I don't know, Jason, I'm gonna probably switch this off to you, but talk about how this questing system where they
I was just about to interrupt you. One of the things that I was really impressed of is I think you can have 6 active quests at a time, but they divide them up like their story quests, covert quests, blah blah blah. But when you look at a quest, it'll cancel this other quest. So I go up to a bunch of quests and I hold off on it. So I really like how it makes you focus on the quest that you have so that you can look at the story parts and work through it so that it really makes the story more meaningful instead of just, I'm going to grab like 25 quests and just, look at where it points me. You really read the quests a lot more and you get involved in the story and it really has helped to make the world a little bit more where you check it out and see what's going on.
That's it. They force you to read the quests. Like literally, you'll have people talking to you. You can just listen to the story, but a lot of the times for quests, when you're following different clues and everything, you have to read. You actually have to read the quest text to continue. And that's one thing that I'm never a person who just clicks through and goes through the game and tries to get to max level. So I've never understood, how someone could do that. Well, this is not the game for a person who goes through WoW and just skips through all the quest text, doesn't know the story, because you will literally be in general chat going, "What's the answer? What's the answer to this thing?"
Yeah, which makes you feel like you're cheating.
Yeah, or you're just a dumbass because someone's going to tell you you're a dumbass. Fucking dumbass.
Yeah, I have heard a lot of people saying that they've had to look up information, to solve puzzles and stuff in the game.
So there are these investigation quests. Each quest is kind of color coded. So when you go up to somebody and you look at it, you kind of eventually learn. Okay, this is the red quests are the story quests or the main stuff like that. The green quests are investigation quests. They're the only quests that are not repeatable. It's because all of the investigation quests are set up like an adventure game. Like
wow.
I just played this game called Resonance by Wadget Games. It's like an old school adventure game. I absolutely love it. But there's a section in that where you're hacking a computer. You literally log onto a computer and you're trying to figure out a password and stuff like that. You do that kind of shit in Secret World. When you grab an investigation quest, part of it might be you hacking a computer. And the stuff that blows my mind, without spoiling too much, it makes you rethink the way you play an MMO. I've realized, like, in MMOs, you don't think a lot. You just don't. You go and you kill 10 rats, and that is a super cliche, but what if you don't kill 10 rats? Or what if that is not the larger part of it? Like, it doesn't matter, really. I've seen people just complain about the game. That finally you've got a game that focuses more on story, and they're complaining about, I just want to kill this thing and continue.
You know what? I read something earlier on Twitter that kind of made me think about this game where Jeff Gertzman, Giant Bomb guy, was talking about playing this game, and he was ripping on, not ripping, but he was talking about how there was a quest that dealt with Morse code, and he had to Google the Morse code. So he was upset because, well, if I'm gonna Google the solution in Morse code to the quest, why don't I just Google the answer to the quest? Type in Morse code, Secret World, and I'm just thinking, you're totally missing the point of this game.
Yeah.
I can see that being a problem, though, in the future. Like, right now, if you're playing the game and people are solving all these for the first time, you're not going to have what you could potentially have in the future, where you try to Google that, and the results are going to be specifically for that game.
Yeah. I can see the people spoiling the game for themselves.
No, yeah. I've run into that, where I was typing into Google, and the answer predicted, Secret World, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I had to make a decision to not look at that, which...
Yeah.
The Morse code puzzle, it's like, I'm not going to... Okay, so I don't think this is spoiling. I'm not going to tell them the context of it or anything, but that Morse code quest made me feel so amazing. It made me connect with this game in a way that only the modern setting could. The first quest you get as a faction member is you're given a cell phone, and you're like, keep this shit with you. This is how we're going to get you turning your quests. This is everything, dude. Keep this with you. And so my character has a smartphone. You know what I do with my smartphone? I look up a Morse code reader, and I grab that shit, and I put it up to my speaker, and it translates the Morse code for me. Not perfectly. I feel like, fuck, I am this character, dude. This is exactly what I would have done in that situation. I feel so great.
That's cool.
No, I felt really good with I don't know if you did this one, the one where, I'm trying to spoil it, where... There was a composer for a certain year. Yep. You did that one?
Yep.
I Googled it, but I didn't look up anything. I felt great when I figured it out.
So this is that disconnect, that weird thing that I've got to realize, that we're in a modern setting, and if I go and access a computer in this game, one thing that they give you, and they do this with all the computers, if you have to figure out a password, they ask you, if you type hint, they will give you a hint. Well, they're not... In my head, I was like, I can't press hint, because then, it's like an adventure game. I'm conceding, and I'm saying that I'm not smart enough. I had to realize, oh, wait, I'm typing in hint like I forgot my computer password on fucking Windows. I type that in, and it gives me that little hint, and I'm like, God, I fucking love this game. It's so good.
Yeah, that part is really cool.
It's really cool. Oh, God, I love it. Okay, sorry. Okay. So I love that. I wrote down a list of things. Sorry, dude. Yeah, it is creepy.
It's creepy.
You should write a blog about it.
You know what? I want to, but I'm fucking having too much fun with this game. I've tried to start drafting stuff out, because if you've played Age of Conan, there are certain things in this game, like the chat window and the you can mark things on the map and everything. Ripped straight out of Age of Conan. So I'm like, I've got this wealth of knowledge. I can tell people. I'll do that after this quest. I'm just not gonna log out, because this is really fun. So sorry guys, I got some
good.
things to tell you, but I'm not gonna, because it's too much fun. Anyways, lastly, okay, and then I'll pass it over to Jason because I think I'm rambling. But the story quests, you're a silent protagonist in this. You just don't say shit. At first, that was a bit jarring, but the level of writing in this is kind of surprising. Sometimes it's a little bit heavy-fisted, but the characters in this are really contemplating some of the things they say. So the dialogue is really interesting to listen to because you're being presented with characters that have lived in this secret world, quote unquote, for a very long time. So a lot of them are very cynical, and it's well written enough that I'm like, wow, a lot of kids aren't going to appreciate this. Like it's pretty darn well written. So, Jason, please say what you're going to say.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Thank you.
Scene.
No, the story part's been pretty good. There was one. I'm not far with my character. One storyline where it was really interesting because I had to go in, and it was a covert mission, so I had to like avoid traps, and it wasn't anything about combat, and it had a lot to do with. Once I got to a point, it was a cutscene of me watching something. And there was one point where, like, it showed my character, and I almost like gave away my position, and it was really cool. I actually like the part I was watching. Oh shit! Like, you know, I didn't know what was going to happen there. But the storyline is really good, and one of the moments, the little things, details that I really enjoyed was. The character left and kind of gave me a vague clue of, oh yeah, you have to chase down this lead, and you have these notes, and you can go look at the journal and look at the map, and the map looks like something you would have if you were a tourist, or you know, or if you
back
look
of
at
a
your
Denny's placemat.
yeah, exactly. Or you can go look at the phone book if you're running by it, and it will show you like, oh. Yeah, like you're looking at like 2 pages of phone book. Really, really cool. It gives a lot of detail to the moment.
Yeah, that's the jarring thing about it. Like you're relearning how to play an MMO because they teach you, hey, for this initial quest, you're gonna go to this. We're gonna tell you you've got to go to this telephone book and look up a shop name. Okay? Well, later on, they're doing that because later on, in an investigation quest or something like that, they won't tell you. They'll give you a hint, and you're like, well, where the fuck do I go? They're not showing me. Like, I look at my map, and I wait for them to show me the X marks the spot on there, and I start getting mad at them and say, this is a badly designed game. I hate this. This is wasting my time. I need a level. And I have to tell myself, no, I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
And I kind of realized, well, okay, what are my resources? They showed me, I started going to that phone book more. I started going and looking at that map that you saw in that cutscene that I know what you're talking about is the actual physical map you see for the next zone. Like those maps, they're literally like when you press the map button, it is not accurate. It is a tourist guide's map to things, you know? Nothing's perfect.
Yeah, it's like a vague representation of what you would be if, you know, like what you would see if you were there.
And they're really good. Like certain quests out of nowhere, this could be just like your standard story quest. You know, it's not an investigation quest, so you don't have the expectation of it to be a little bit more difficult and vague. They'll just, whenever they feel like it, they'll pull away the X marks the spot kind of locator that you've gotten used to on MMO. Like that quest he's talking about, they don't show you where to go.
No, they say figure it out.
Yeah, they say where it is, and your dumb ass has to figure it out. So don't be drinking like I was, because I ran around for 2 more hours and then fell asleep on my keyboard.
Yeah, they won't. Instead of giving you a marker, they'll say, this doctor has issues, so you need to figure it out. You have to, and then you have to go like reread your journal and say, okay, this is what I know, and they'll show you pictures or evidence, whatever you've seen, but you have to think about where you're going to go next. And from what I've been able to figure out, it's pretty well done.
I do have 2 questions about the game before we move on. First one is, everything that you've said sounds really cool, and I love what they're doing with it, but where does I don't mean this to, I don't sound trolly or anything, but where's the MMO? Like, where's the interaction with other players?
Okay. So that's where my issues come in.
Okay.
The chat system, like I said, was pulled straight from Age of Conan, and the bugs, the early game bugs from Age of Conan, have now come back. Also, for some reason, I don't know, they broke themselves again. So what happens is when I'm trying to get a cabal together, okay, which is the guild, okay, it's called the Creeping Darkness. Anybody want to join? Roll a dragon. Like, seriously, baby. All right, you can join. The problem is, though, you join, everything's great. I greet you in the chat channel. Well, as you're zoning, you're going to randomly unsubscribe, and you won't hear anything anyone's saying. So it's going to look like a dead guild.
Oh,
you know?
Nice.
So the little things that are separating the communication from, you can't create a community if that's the case. So right now, everyone's talking in the Dragon channel. Everyone's talking in the Templar channel and the Illuminati channel. Okay, but there's this. You have to. This is the thing that kills MMOs. It's the one thing that's really hard in DCUO. You have to work really hard to talk to people, and sometimes people just give up and just play solo, and that's a killer for me. So if we're talking about the MMO of things, like if they prove fucking chat, like it'll help out a lot. And then also the game kind of hides around this idea of true freedom with your build. But really, when it comes down to it, if you go to the first dungeon, which is amazing, really awesome mechanics, gets you really excited, gets you thinking, not with story, but with actual like gameplay. Like you have to be on your toes. It's Trinity. It's Trinity based. You've got a healer, you've got a tank, and you've got your DPS. And that's one thing that I've found in game that people are thinking, I've got true freedom. No longer do we have to find a tank. Nah, you do. And if you don't, you're fucking dead. Be prepared to spend like 3 hours not finishing anything. So those are the things. It is an MMO, but I think it's held back by the fact that it's really fucking hard to get a group like that is like-minded, that you can kind of continue to chit-chat with. What about you? What about you, Jason? What you think?
I haven't grouped at all. So, I've only played single player, and it's hard to tell. The one thing that I really like, I don't know how it's going to play out, but there's 3 factions, okay? Yep. So there's Dragon, there's Illuminati, what's the other one? Templar. Right. So right now I'm in Eric's guild, which is Dragon-based. And you can't be in a guild unless it's your faction. But I don't think there's any PvP servers, right, Eric?
No. There's everything is everything.
So everything is everything. So even though we're dragons, we can group with anybody else.
Yes. And
the only area and we can talk to everybody else in chat. You just can't be in the same guild. No. It just goes back to PvP. So I did some persistent war zones earlier, which are their kind of reaction to like world PvP, which it was okay. I'm not really sure what I think about that right now, but I really like that in the PvE world you can talk to everybody, and I think that's going to take away from once server population dies down, you still have people to group with, and if you're looking at like games like Old Republic, whatever, you limit your audience when you limit the factions like that. You can't group up with anyone else. You can only talk to people of your faction. I think this thing has a advantage because you can talk to people who aren't of your faction, and that the servers aren't. You can phase between servers, even though you have to pick a server. You can group with anybody.
Yeah.
Right, Eric?
Yeah. That's it's weird. I don't know why they did it. Maybe it's some kind of load thing, or maybe like since I joined the RP server, people see me as from Arcadia. Maybe then that gives them an impression of what kind of player I am. I don't know what their intent was, but it is one server. It is one large server, and it's split up in these shards. So if you go ahead and join some PvE server, It doesn't matter. We can play together. We can guild together. We can do all those things. So you very much think about it just like Champions Online, just like DCUO is now, just like EVE, I guess always was. Like you don't worry about that shit. And that's amazing. That's going to help out with me feeling, separated. Well, okay, so I don't feel separated in that way anymore, but one of the things, if you've been following the Secret World for a very long time, like I have, like this was the game. I was like, ooh, if this thing sucks, I'm quitting MMOs. Like, fuck this shit. I need this thing to be good. So I've been following it. I took the survey like 2 years ago. I knew I was a dragon a long time ago. Well, my friend Tare, my friends from the channel Massive Podcast, they all have taken the survey, and they're all Templars, and convincing them to come over to the dragon side is impossible because they do a really good job of just like building these loyalties, and then we can't join. We're just like separated by this wall. Even though we can group, it's one of those things it's kind of disheartening, and it kind of separates us because I think they're all shitheads. Like, what the fuck? I'm sorry. I guess it's good, but dragons are awesome. Do you realize okay, everybody who hasn't played the game yet, you should I will give you a buddy code.
I'm waiting for him to
or
start
something.
Running around the block yelling dragons.
There are buddy
I will
codes?
do that. Do you know what you do at the beginning? You get a magical blowjob.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't make any sense. It sounds like I'm drunk.
No, it's pretty hot. I know what you're talking about.
It is one of, like, it's just, that represents the maturity of the game. When you get magical blowjobs.
Yeah,
because
she's a good girl.
Yeah, right? She is a good girl. I love her.
All right.
I miss her.
Speaking of...
What are you playing, Steve?
Oh, I can't segue from that. Guild Wars.
Yeah.
That's it, man.
So you went from like not playing it really a long time ago, like a month or two ago, and now you're in, right?
I'm
like
all in.
balls deep.
Pretty much. I actually checked it out last night. I did my /age in the game. Apparently, I've only put total ever in Guild Wars 1. I have put, I think it was 92 hours.
So are you really disappointed that you didn't get into it?
I am, because in the past month I've put over 40 of those 92. And I'm like, as soon as I got level 20 on my dervish and really started pushing through the Nightfall campaign and getting into the story and stuff, that game just clicks, man. It's like you break this wall eventually in the game, and there's so much there that I never really even knew existed. There's a lot of hidden depth in Guild Wars that I wish I would have pushed in further a long time ago, speaking of balls deep, and explored and found out, because that game is really rad. And I was already excited about Guild Wars 2, but if anything, like, playing this much Guild Wars has me more concerned if I will enjoy Guild Wars 2. I think I still will. It's almost apples and oranges.
Yeah,
but
it's not even the same game.
It's not really, but I've just been enjoying this so much, I'm kind of like, man, am I going to switch over and kind of be like, I miss this and I miss this, because I'm really digging it.
Are you like me at all? Where when I think of Guild Wars 1, I kind of think of, this is what Diablo should have been. Like, Guild Wars 2 is like something totally separate. It's not even the same. You can't, like you said, you can't compare it. Like,
yeah, it's hard to even call it an MMO, because like I was asking you about the Secret World, like, where's the MMO in it? Same question I have for Guild Wars, because I don't ever really group with anybody. I had some help with Kapala from our forums. I've grouped up with a couple people to help me through some late game missions that were just wrecking me. But past that, I've barely grouped. But it's been nice. I mean, the MMO side of that is that I have had to have needed help. But yeah, it's mostly been a solo affair for me. But I'm enjoying it. I like I think I wrote a post on Tyria Chronicles about kind of my feelings towards the game right now, and I kind of summarized that like the whole Hall of Monuments thing to get the rewards in Guild Wars 2, the push that I had to get some of that stuff was the reason that I am as far as I am in the game. So I'm glad that existed, and I think it's been really nice to have these goals to go after, and I never had that before in Guild Wars. A lot of people will play an MMO and get a goal to hit max level or whatever, and I think I've rarely in an MMO ever had a goal like that. I've always just kind of enjoyed the experience of being in it, and Guild Wars is different in that I kind of needed that goal, and I'm enjoying it for that. But yeah, I know I'm not going to get to the points, the level of points that I want for the rewards, but I am enjoying the fact that I'm picking up on a lot of the lore before Guild Wars 2. So, but yeah, it's I totally kind of glazed over your question, but I'm not sure if I would have said that this is what Diablo 3 should have been. I'm not a Diablo guy. I don't really like the series, but I can totally see what you're saying. There could have been so much more to Diablo, another Diablo game, beyond just the loot.
While we're chilling, just waiting for you, I didn't want to ask this because I think we've already hashed this like twice now in the podcast, but like, are the rewards something where like if you don't do it and you pick up Guild Wars 2, you'll be like, oh man, I really regret not having gone and done that?
Okay. That's kind of a difficult question to answer because you can always go back and go for them.
At any time?
Yeah, you can go back later and get them.
Ah, that's kind of cool.
So I'm tempted to keep playing Guild Wars 1, but I will say I regret not getting into the game sooner to try to get more points for the rewards. Mm-hmm. At the same time, this is going to be very contradictive.
No, go ahead.
I don't regret coming back because I'm picking up on the lore and stuff. I do regret coming back though because I've spent $40 and I'm not going to get those points. Because I did not have the Eye of the North expansion. That was $20, and then I spent another $20 to kind of like bypass a lot of time and buy skills for my heroes.
So basically, you spent money to get the points, and while it's good that you're doing the lore, you're still like, wow, I just spent money to get points.
I didn't. Well, yeah, like in a roundabout way, because like you pick up heroes through the game, and there's a real deep metagame with the skills. Like, people will often call Guild Wars, if you've played it enough, people will call the game Build Wars, because it's not about items for shit. Items don't mean jack shit in Guild Wars.
It's what skills you got.
It's the skills. And a lot of the skills you just pick up from vendors, but a lot of them, which are elite skills, you actually have to go and capture from an elite mob that has that skill. Gotcha. So you can spend a fuck ton of time trying to get all those skills for each of your other 7 heroes in your group. And you can only have 1 elite skill at a time, so you really only need 7, but that takes a lot of time. And some of the skills are on, for me personally, it would have taken a real long time, because a lot of those skills were on either the Prophecies or the Factions campaigns, which I have not completed.
Gotcha. So to kind of circumvent that, you just
there would have been no way for me to easily go to the place where that mob was.
Mm-hmm.
So I circumvented a crap ton of time. I'm talking, each of those campaigns is probably going to take me 20 hours to complete, at least.
So that's a full game in that of itself.
Yeah, it would have taken me few weeks to even do that part. But I'm thinking about going and doing, after the Eye of the North stuff, I'm going to be kind of at a crossroads. I don't know whether I want to just try to do like farming and stuff to get more Hall of Monuments points, or if I'm going to just say fuck it and go do the other campaigns, which ultimately will get me points, but that will take me a lot longer. So I don't know if I really want to go, okay, do I just want to focus on getting all the lore I can, or do I want to focus on just trying to get as many points as I can in the last 2 months before release? So
okay,
like I said, I don't regret coming back because I've really, it's been eye-opening, and I'm going to enjoy having this knowledge going into Guild Wars 2, because especially the Eye of the North stuff, there's a lot of shit in that plays into Guild Wars 2, that like a lot of the stuff that like I'm getting towards the end of it, and it's like each kind of big plot point has been like, oh fuck, yes, okay, cool. I can't wait to see the next thing, because
yeah, totally.
I kind of understand what comes of it, but I want to see what happens. A lot of like epic fist pump moments, if you're into that sort of lore. But anyways,
gotcha. Because I'm going into this totally blind, and I'm kind of excited for that because I don't know anything, but at the same time, it's like, well, I don't know anything.
Yeah, how should I say this? There's other ways to get that lore. There are like the YouTube videos by a guy named Wooden Potatoes. You can go check him out. He's got a lot of good videos explaining the lore, the world, all that stuff. So if you do want to play Guild Wars 2 and you have never played Guild Wars 1, highly recommend that.
Also, some books that a lot of people recommend.
Because I've been watching
Ghost of Ascalon's.
I have not read that yet, but there's 2 books, and I've been curious which one that I should pick up.
That's the one that has the most buzz.
Okay, yeah, that one's got a lot of good ratings. The other one did not.
Gotcha. Because I've been watching that YouTube series. It was linked on the forums. I don't know what it's called. Crap. It's like potato something.
Yeah, wooden potatoes.
Yeah. And his little like quick for people who don't know anything about Guild Wars. This is some general stuff, and it's really interesting. But I just don't have the time, or really, honestly, the inclination to go and buy Guild Wars 1 and do what you're doing.
I would not.
Yeah, it's
a lot
really
of people
hard at this point to get involved with that. Just wait it out.
A lot of people have been jumping on like Reddit and stuff, asking, should I start playing the game now so I can get some points? Blah blah blah. And I'm like, I don't ever answer, but I think a lot of people do say like, no, just don't even fucking worry about it. There's no point in you trying to do it now. There was, like I kind of said, there was a little knowing now what I know. I'm kind of glad. I mean, I'm at 9 points. I wanted to get 25, and getting 10, 11, 12 probably won't be a problem whatsoever. Getting 15, I could probably get 15. Trying to even get close to 20 is probably going to be pushing it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I mean, you did that commitment. You're probably glad that you did, but like, how risky? If someone. You'd rather just have them read.
I at least had some leg up into the game with my dervish. He was already like 11 or 12, so it didn't take me that long. And now that I've paid the money to have the skills on my heroes, going through the older content, like going through prophecies and factions, probably won't take me very long at all, because I have basically the meta build for a group, so I can just clean through shit.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So yeah. I don't recommend picking it up this close to release if all you're doing is because you're interested in Guild Wars 2. But
okay, that's an honest answer.
Yeah, it was a very long answer, but yes. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Did we cover everything, guys?
I got something real quick.
Sure, hit it.
Well, it depends if you want. First of all, do you want to go into details on Civ, or should I save that for next show? It's been pretty long.
Do it next show. We'll do one next week.
I'll save that. But so Steam gave me like a crap load of free stuff. And I don't need it. So, Multiplaying giveaway. Here we go. Woo!
All right.
So, if you're listening to this show, just leave a comment, and you will win a chance at getting some random game
free
in my
shit.
Steam store. Yeah, I have like Nuclear Dawn. I have copies of Magicka. I have KOTOR, the entire Jedi Academy series, like all kinds of free stuff. That Steam was just like, here! And I was like, okay. So... if you want free stuff, just leave a comment on Multiplaying.
Well, Steam is this like, you like this shit?
Yeah. So Steve's like, here, give this to your friends. They'll like you. You'll be sociable. And I was like, no, I won't. I'll just give it to people on the internet.
You have to be a member of the Multiplaying Steam group.
Oh,
do that.
There you go.
Because we use that so much.
That applies.
Huh?
Does that actually apply? Are we doing that? Is that a legit rule?
Sure.
All right.
Make it easier for you to find the people to give them the stuff.
Got to join that Steam group.
That's right. And before we go, just want to remind you, subscribe to us on iTunes. Email us. I did not check the emails this time. I figured it's been a couple months. People just figured we were dead. Or we quit. Whatever.
Roadkill.
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
Like, they're going to look at their iTunes like, why is this podcast updating? I thought I deleted this.
This is bullshit.
Apparently I didn't unsubscribe. I am now. No, don't do it.
You can email us at multiplaying@gmail.com. And I want to say thanks to Eric for showing up tonight. That was awesome.
Great show.
No problem. You know what I like best about the last part of the show? Since I'm not playing Guild Wars at all, it's like I got to sit back and listen to the podcast.
It was just like that for you, wasn't it?
It was like all of a sudden I'm listening to the podcast. And
That's good. It's good stuff.
And it was terrible.
It was, it was okay, but it didn't really apply to me.
Fine.
So I'm gonna write in a letter going, "Can you guys please stop talking about Guild Wars so much? It really doesn't apply to what I am, and I'm all about myself right now."
You know what? I'm going to give you the podcast employee of the month.
Oh, jeez.
Congratulations.
You did it.
Yep.
Oh man, let's just clap. Let's clap. Everybody, I don't see your box lighting up, Rare, so you're not clapping. Yeah, you better. Oh,
Yeah, you see it lighting up now.
There we go.
Good night, everybody.
Well, gentlemen, no point in hanging around this dump any longer.
Wait! Where are you going? I was going to make a sprint.
Show's over, folks.
You can't go! All the plants are going to die.
Take off, eh?
Thanks for listening to Multiplaying, the companion podcast at multiplaying.net. Questions, comments, feedback, errors, etc. can be sent to multiplaying@gmail.com. We invite you to write a review on iTunes and visit our website at www.multiplaying.net.
We've made a lot of friends, shared a lot of laughs, often at the expense of others.
I think some people are going to be upset.
Let me just close this conversation by saying you are one unique individual.
Thank you and good night.
And cut.
So anyways, I'm just going to tell you, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and I swear I'm so sorry if I rambled.
No, you're fine, man.
It was good.
Oh, good, because I seriously... Segwaying? What the fuck is that? I know the word.
It's those things you ride on, right?
Yeah, no, I know the word. I've seen the machine, but in action, that shit is magic. So it's like, I'm going to ramble until someone tells me to stop. If they are very polite, they are going to get rambled over. And so I occasionally have to just go, "Jason, what do you think?" And he's like, "You've said everything ever, Eric. I'm just gonna."
Like, I don't know.
I don't
You
know.
said everything ever.
Yeah.
I agree. And scene.
And you know what?
Yeah, Secret World is a game, Eric.
Yeah. And you just tried to explain it all. So it's kind of middling. And that's pretty accurate, you shit face.